The GOP Medicaid cuts have come out as part of Trump's one big, beautiful bill that he is hoping that Congress passes. And it's what's in it is quite frankly disgusting based on the amount of coverage that is potentially going to be cut from millions and millions of Americans. And I'll kind of juxtapose spending, completely unnecessary spending that Trump's government is plowing ahead on that is very unpopular, and kind of show you the priorities of Donald Trump's administration. But before we look at that, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below, and share with someone that's into politics. It helps out the algorithm a lot. So we'll head on over here to AP. We have an article that says, House Republicans unveil Medicaid cuts that Democrats warn will leave millions without care. House Republicans have unveiled the cost-saving centerpiece of President Trump's big, beautiful bill, at least $880 billion in cuts, largely to Medicaid, to help cover the cost of $4.5 trillion in tax breaks, many for the richest Americans in this country. Tallying hundreds of pages, the legislation revealed Sunday is touching off the biggest political fight over health care since Republicans tried but failed to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act, or Obamacare, during Trump's first term. While Republicans insist they are rooting out waste, fraud, and abuse to generate savings with new work and eligibility requirements, Democrats warn that millions of Americans will lose coverage. A preliminary estimate from the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office said the proposals would reduce the number of people with health care by 8.6 million over the decade. Savings like these allow us to use this bill to renew the Trump tax cuts and keep Republicans' promise to hardworking middle-class families, said Representative Brett Guthrie of Kentucky, the GOP chairman of the Energy and Commerce Committee, which handles healthcare spending. But Democrats said that the cuts are shameful and essentially amount to another attempt to repeal Obamacare. In no uncertain terms, millions of Americans will lose their health care coverage, said Representative Frank Pallone of New Jersey. Let's go ahead and look at what Bernie Sanders, a longtime champion of keeping health care open to as many people as possible in this country and an advocate for Medicare for all, a single payer healthcare system that is widely popular. Let's see what he has to say when he weighed in recently about the potential cuts here, saying that thousands and thousands of low income and working people will die. Thousands and thousands of low income and working people will die. Citing estimates from the Congressional Budget Office, Sanders said more than 13 million Americans are going to lose their health insurance. And then on top of that, what the Republicans are proposing is a $35 copayment for many Medicaid recipients. If you're making $16,000 a year, you know what? You can't afford that $35. You are not going to the doctor. One of the outrageous dysfunctionalities of our current healthcare system is we lose some 70,000 people a year who die because they don't go to a doctor on time. Bernie Sanders said during a Wednesday night appearance on MSNBC's All In with Chris Hayes, when you throw 13 million people off of health insurance, when you raise co-payments for poor people, it's a death sentence. Thousands and thousands of low income and working people will die simply because they will not be able to afford to pay to get to a doctor's office when they need it. This is the committee passed the bill on a 30 to 24 vote, which by the way was completely not bipartisan, but completely partisan. All the Democrats voted on one side, all the Republicans voted on another side. So this is what Donald Trump's agenda and America is all about. Cutting benefits from low-income Americans who, as Sanders pointed out here, will quite literally die if they are not able to access healthcare, and cutting that to give more and more to the richest people in this country. That's what Donald Trump is all about. And to further exemplify that, we have a early preliminary estimate of Donald Trump's ridiculous over-the-top military parade that he is planning on June 14th, where there's a congruence of his birthday and the 250th year of our military existing. Big whoop, right? Big pat on the back for the American military when people are literally dying in the streets because they don't have access to healthcare coverage. Good job, America. Let's head over to the Daily Beast. Massive cost of Trump's birthday military parade revealed. Trump is planning to celebrate his 79th birthday and the Army's 250th anniversary in one huge celebration, all on the dime of U.S. taxpayers. Reuters reported Wednesday the birthday celebration could cost as much as $25 million to $45 million in taxpayer dollars, depending on if there is a parade, and could include as many as 25 tanks thundering through Washington, D.C., 6,500 troops, and around 150 vehicles and 50 aircraft moving to Washington. Talk about a waste of money, right? For a government that literally created an office, put the world's richest man at its helm and said, okay, Doge, go ahead and decide which programs are essential and which programs are non-essential, completely violating the Constitution in many cases, because these are programs that have been congressionally approved. And what do we have here? A huge military parade that could cost up to $45 million in a time when not only are Americans reeling from Trump's tariffs that have already had an effect on prices, but we're in a time when people are very uncertain about the future of the economy and the future of them having access to healthcare, with the GOP unveiling massive budget cuts to Medicaid. But Trump wants us to believe everything's okay. Be patriotic, pat yourself on the back, and kick back and enjoy this parade, this massively overpriced parade, all on taxpayer dollar, while Trump sits back and cuts benefits from you and your family. What an absolutely disgraceful man we have in the Oval Office. And the GOP should be absolutely outraged at these budget cuts. I saw that Josh Hawley, of all people, did say something about how this is not what Trump campaigned on and what Trump promised to the American people. And it's absolutely outrageous what is being proposed. Cutting nearly $1 trillion from the budget towards Medicaid in order to pay for tax breaks for the richest in this country. Shame on you, Donald Trump. Shame on you, GOP. This is absolutely not what the richest country in the world should be doing. We should be looking after each and every American and making sure that they have access to healthcare as a human right, as many, many other countries in the world are able to do with much, much less money than we do. That's all I got for you guys in this one. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Take care.